So give us a little background. When did this get started?
So when Gerrard and I were dating, we had this idea that we would start something called Centric Ministries. So we had a logo, we put it on a vision board as early as 2015.
Okay.
And so we kind of held that name as something that would be special that we would do one day.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I was growing my consultancy, Gerrard and I had a conversation about looking for the kind of space that we really wanted to grow into. Like, what was the big thing that we had yet to do that we were really looking to do? And I have to admit that our vision wasn't that expansive at that moment, right? So I was looking for a space to grow my office, and Gerrard had an idea for having always wanted to have an event space. And so that was the first time that we said, well, maybe there might be a space that we could find that has administrative offices on the upper level and an event space on the lower level. And so
well, welcome to the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. I'm Charles McKay, your host of the weekly Detroit Metro Plug podcast. And this is a special pop-up podcast interview. I got two great people here that I'm about to interview. They're going to share a little bit about themselves and this co-working space that they have and other programs and projects that they're involved in. So we just want to welcome them for episode 77 of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. So we want to jump right into it. So if you guys could just share with our audience your name and a little bit about yourself, and we're getting right into the Centric place.
All right. My name is Gerrard Racheal. I'm co-founder here at Centric Place, former educator, now turned entrepreneur. And this is the work that we do here as we focus indirectly on arts, culture, and entrepreneurship.
And I'm Rachel Allen. I focus more on the entrepreneurship. I've been a serial entrepreneur for 20 years. I lead our entrepreneurship programming through Operations School.
Okay, great. So for those who will be viewing this, how would you describe or explain what is Centric Place?
Centric Place is a hub for all things entrepreneurial, whether it be art, culture, business branding, business expansion. Centric Place is the place to actually grow, develop, and maintain your business as a Black person of color, especially. And we're one of the first to do it this way in Oakland County.
Okay. All right. So now you said something interesting, the place for entrepreneurship or ideas, and is this the only co-working space in Farmington or Oakland County?
It is the first in Farmington Hills.
Oh, first in Farmington Hills. Okay.
To carry the principles that we do, we are the first in Oakland County.
Oh, okay.
I would also add probably the first in Metro Detroit. So while there are other co-working spaces in Metro Detroit, there really hasn't been a space truly dedicated to Black arts, culture, and entrepreneurship in the way that we've focused on it. Okay.
All right. So there's nothing like Centric Place with the focus on Black art, culture. Nothing. Okay. Okay. Now, so give us a little background. When did this get started? Did you guys have an idea before you got the building, or just all came? Was it just God spoke to you guys? Like, how did this all get started?
God's been speaking to us for a long time. Rachel tells the story better about how we were going to start this in ministry. So I think that's probably the best place to start.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So when Gerrard and I were dating, we had this idea that we would start something called Centric Ministries. So we had a logo, we put it on a vision board as early as 2015.
Okay.
And so we kind of held that name as something that would be special that we would do one day.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I was growing my consultancy, Gerrard and I had a conversation about looking for the kind of space that we really wanted to grow into. Like, what was the big thing that we had yet to do that we were really looking to do? And I have to admit that our vision wasn't that expansive at that moment, right? So I was looking for a space to grow my office, And Gerrard had an idea for having always wanted to have an event space. And so that was the first time that we said, well, maybe there might be a space that we could find that has administrative offices on the upper level and an event space on the lower level. And so originally that idea was focused in Detroit, and we were kind of thinking about it pretty traditionally. It wasn't until we started thinking about some of the needs that we have in Oakland County that other folks might have. Like, there are plenty of Black folks that we know who live outside of Detroit proper who might want to have a space where they can go for all things, right? Culture, events, pop-ups, celebrations. And that's really where Centric Place was born, because we started thinking, well, if we need this kind of space and we are so enmeshed in the entrepreneurship ecosystem, there has to be other people who need the same thing. And I would say our idea from there pretty much just took a matter of weeks, and we were able to build the space out in 60 days and open it in November of 2022.
So November of 2022, this opened. And if you don't mind me asking, how did you guys come up with the name Centric Place?
So that's still Rachel's thought and idea. Obviously stemming from a lot of Afrocentricity. But then also just truly being centered in actually what it is that you're passionate about.
Wow.
So just that centricity is built on
centricity. Okay.
Being centered around, being focused in, not just being outwardly thought, but like really thinking in depth as to why you're doing what you're doing, building it from a place of passion, not from a place of, I don't want to say like start like impression or trying to impress other folks by doing so.
Okay. So centricity. Okay. Wow. That's
centricity. Centric.
Wow.
Jokingly, it's been called Centric Place because I guess people feel we are centered.
Yeah.
That happen in Detroit and the other suburbs. Farmington Hills just so happens to be very central to those places. Okay.
I like it. And you guys, just kind of describing this place and how it came about. Were you guys considered to be like a ministry or at first, or?
Yeah. That was the thought. We spent a lot of time dating long distance. So I was living in China at the time.
Really? Wow.
Rachel was here in the US. And so we spent a lot of time building our relationship, honestly, around having a strong relationship with God.
Wow, that's amazing.
We prayed a lot together. We did couples counseling long distance.
Wow.
And so the thought process for that was like we would do all these creative things together. Rachel's a really good singer. If you haven't heard her sing before.
No, this is first time discovering right here.
And we both have gotten so far away from what kind of connected us. This is now opening up that opportunity to get back there. So I was a poet, started a poetry organization at Eastern Michigan.
Okay.
Rachel was a singer. So we would make creative things over the phone that we thought would be the basis.
Wow.
We were like starting books together as to what we were focused on. We had both previously been married.
Right.
So a lot of our foundation to what we were doing early on in our own relationship was to not repeat the mistakes.
Okay.
Right. And so that's where this like couples ministry thing came from. From there though, we, even after being married, we would host a couple events.
Wow.
We would host travel couple retreats that we are part of. We actually still do some traveling with other couples. So we always thought we would be centered around that, not knowing that.
Wow.
At some point, pulling our careers.
Right.
So I know that you've been a part of, Bible studies here.
Right.
And that's a thing that we thought was still important, is that we kept God as a centerpiece.
Wow.
Here, knowing that otherwise it wouldn't be successful.
Okay. So I kind of see this theme that this was kind of birthed out of a relationship that you guys had with God and with each other, and just you guys coming together and sharing your creative ideas and your passions. That's awesome. Wow. I'm just responding in real time because I didn't know how deep this thing was. So, but it's great. It is awesome. So, in November of 2022, correct? Now, how did you guys were creating together? Your passions are aligning. You had this long distance relationship. You get married. So these ideas are coming. How did you guys land in this place in Farmington? Because this is a very unique campus here.
Yeah, so I think again, we originally thought we would land in Detroit because I've
Mhm.
been kind of anchored in Northwest Detroit with my business, and it took actually a conversation I had one day with my mom when I said, I would really love to work closer to home.
Okay.
We live in Farmington Hills. Our children are in the public schools in Farmington,
Mhm.
and up until that point, it had never occurred to me that Farmington Hills could be a community that we could put the types of things that we were doing.
Right,
And I think there are a lot of people who make assumptions that the real estate in Farmington Hills is too expensive or
Right.
that it's somehow prohibitive.
Right.
The minute that we kind of settled in on Oakland County, and then even closer to Farmington Hills, we realized that there were tons of resources available here.
Mhm.
In fact, what we found is that the greater Farmington area has been one of the most supportive business communities I think we've ever experienced, where
Wow.
there has been so much support from whether it's the chamber or the city and their economic development corporation. They've really made it possible for us to not only bring Centric Place here, but to bring other small Black businesses as well. And so, I don't know that people get that experience in most cities.
Wow.
And so basically we found the building pretty quickly. The space was available, and that's really why we were able to get this open so quickly, because there weren't nearly the kind of obstacles that you might find in other cities.
Now, explain for those who don't know, the history of this building, this particular building.
Yeah, so this building, this campus in its entirety expands over about 12 acres of land right now.
Wow.
Previously, this land was used for training Romanian missionaries to go out into the world to preach the gospel.
Wow.
This was their international headquarters, kept in very pristine conditions.
Yes.
So Rachel shared it took us about 60 days to do the build out, which is mostly us like making cosmetic choices and building and adding in furniture. But other than that, there wasn't a lot we had to do because the building was very well taken care of. And only had very few employees that would exist in this building and then the lower level also.
Wow.
So you had very few people in the building, kept in great condition. And so that's what this land essentially was used for. So people walk in, they see the high ceilings, the natural light that comes in. They always say it feels very serene, very peaceful.
Yes, very peaceful.
Because obviously the foundations were built around missionary work.
Right.
So you do always feel like you're walking into a very peaceful place.
Wow, I think that is just amazing, just the layers, because by this being a former Romanian missionary place, and then just the nature of you guys' relationship, how you guys center around God and you're passionate about, things that you do with the arts and your career, and then this place, the history with this place and you guys coming together. It's just centric, I guess. The better way of saying it. So the Farmington Hills business community, there was no other permits or anything when you had to repurpose the building?
No, because this was permitted as an office space, we were able to use it as a meeting and retreat space. Event is kind of ancillary to the business that we do, but it's basically already zoned as office. So we were able to very quickly utilize the space in a very similar fashion. And so one of the things that we do share is that we went to some city officials very early in our process, probably before we even got the keys to this space. And we were very candid about what we were hoping to use this space for.
Right.
In fact, we said we're looking to build one of the Blackest things in Farmington, and we just want to make sure that you all know that, and that you're okay with it. Particularly because I've heard of horror stories where you try to get something off the ground and then all of a sudden you get these, these forces at work. Right. And so even from those early conversations, they were not only supportive, but they identified a huge need. And so I think it was really us getting into the work that we realized how big the need actually was. And so I think that's important to say, because some people think that we started this or we had this idea for years and years and years.
Yeah.
It really was just divine, and the path that we took continued to, for us, set a tone that yes, there is a big need for it. The city is asking for it, and in fact, we just didn't realize that there wasn't anything else like this in the county. And so it's also paved the way for us to be able to do bigger projects that, are more welcoming to Black businesses as well.
Wow, that's amazing. So just everything lined up, the ideas, the space, and the cooperation with the local government.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you guys are upfront that you want to, target and amplify what African Americans are doing, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, influencers, providing a space for them to create. And there was no pushback. No pushback.
Not this one to our face.
Wow.
We've seen some comments on some online articles. It wasn't from our city.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So let's get into so you guys, it's no more than 20. So is it a year? Has it been a year? Not quite. Okay.
7 months.
7 months. Okay.
Just crossed 7 months the other day.
Well, let's get into, for our audience and those who will be watching through our platforms. And thank you for those who will be watching. And if you find value in what we're doing, please like and subscribe to our channel, the Detroit Metro Plug Podcast. So let's get into like some of these services and programs you guys offer.
Services and programs. That's going to start with you. Some of the consulting work that I do for the City of Farmington and Farmington Hills does provide a lot of free resources to this business community here.
Okay.
So anywhere from social media training, IT support, certifications in women-owned and minority-owned businesses are a lot of the resources that you can't find here. But a lot of businesses kind of get thrown into a place where there's like an abyss of resources and classes. So if we do offer it here, we try to make sure it's very intentional. We try to throw things out there and see if they work. The things that we provide are valuable to the people who come here and expect them. Rachel's organization, the nonprofit operations school, and she'll speak more to that, keys in very directly on a certain place where a business is. So we don't feel like we're just a catch-all for all things businesses. Right, so I will obviously let you explain that, Rachel, like what your service is and how that's growing the community here.
Before jumping into that about Operations School, we'll talk a little bit about our co-working. So that's a way that folks can engage with us. They can drop in, they can get a monthly membership, or they also can have a private office. So that's one level of support that we provide. We also, as Gerrard mentioned, provide our entrepreneurship training through Operations School. And that's also a very unique program offering in the ecosystem, because we really focus on disadvantaged and minority businesses who've been operational at least a year, and we help them learn how to manage their day-to-day business operations. And so with all of that, what we've been able to really organically create in the last few months is just this really thriving community of people who want to be connected to something. People typically want to belong to something. And so for a lot of them, they might be the first entrepreneur in their family. They might be the only person they know that's an entrepreneur. So we've really been working to just create the kind of community and ecosystem that wherever people are in their business journey, there is something for them. And that just happens pretty organically just by virtue of being part of our community.
Okay. Wow. Now, how would what's the best way for those who are listening who want to take advantage of your event space or co-working space? What's the best way for them to go about it?
And just go right to the website.
Okay.
CentricPlace.com. That spelling that you see up on the wall is correct. CentricPlace.com.
CentricPlace.com.
You can do all your bookings directly from there. See what offerings we have, the different variations of membership. We also do offer mailbox services.
Okay.
So you're able to do all of those kind of sign-ups for those who do have business needs. We try to be a service to those people in that way.
Now, do you have to be a member to take advantage of the event space?
You do not. You can just book directly.
Okay.
You don't have to be a member. It does benefit you to be a member. You'll find greater discounts by doing that, but also just being involved in the ecosystem of folks that are here on a regular basis. It's such a strong network and ecosystem that's being built here. You're almost like losing out by not being a member, because you'll miss, you probably can't hear from right now, but another event like happening downstairs, 50 different people who are now being introduced to the building as a member. You would have more opportunities to network with those folks, to share business opportunities with each other. So membership does actually help. It really helps in, and giving you, again, what Rachel said, an opportunity to belong somewhere.
Okay.
As we get older, you may not be a person who's going to hit the gym every weekend.
Right.
To belong to that, or you may not be roller skating every weekend. Those are things I actually do. But you might actually just want to join a professional network of folks who are always sharing resources and helping.
Right. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And just in full disclosure, I recently became a member. Yeah. And so I've been enjoying just meeting new people and networking and getting to know you guys. I really do appreciate you guys and your service. So just kind of wrapping things up. You talked about the operation school, but you do a special program
Yeah,
with
so
Rebirth. You mind telling our audience about that?
absolutely. Yeah, Rebirth is a very unique experience with fine dining, live entertainment, and networking. So we do that event here once a month. We switch out a different chef every month, so you get to be
Okay.
introduced to a different cuisine.
Okay.
Different bartender introduces a different
Right.
pairing of drinks that go along with that cuisine, and then you get a live band experience. I know Rachel mentioned this a little bit earlier, but Oakland County, very rarely do you get these cultural experiences of live music,
Right. Right.
entertainment, DJ, cuisine that's really curated around the people of color, the black people here, the brown people here in Oakland County. So Rebirth is birthed from a lot of things that I've done before. It actually was it's a reboot of a series I used to run in Detroit.
Okay.
So the venue to start it, I ran it over on Livernois, ran it for a couple of years, and then I'm now bringing it back here
Okay.
to our own place.
Okay.
It's nothing better than to be able to do these cultural things in your own space. Just as valuable as it is for Rachel to do her classes here also.
Mhm.
She may not have shared, I don't know if that part came up, but like that classroom is hers. So the chairs are the color she wants.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah,
the
yeah.
color that she wants. It all fits her brand. And so you get to see us both really kind of work in our specialty, the things that we love
Yeah.
in our own space, but then it just develops and creates other spaces. So I'm mentioning a new chef, right?
Right.
That person as an entrepreneur is growing their business in that way. The DJ is growing their business in that way. The different bartenders, like last time, it was their first time doing a large event, right? And so now all of these folks are getting an opportunity to be in this community, right? But also get the business development skills they need to operate their business, right?
Yes.
That's where Rachel's specialty comes in. So a lot of folks who are already seeking her out get to bring in and understand the art and like the business that's associated with arts.
Okay.
And so fine arts, performing arts, culinary arts, they all get brought in together. So at the Rebirth, you're not just getting entertained, you are also being connected to another layer of business that's happening like all at once. Like,
Okay.
I don't cook. That many people, Rachel's not gonna make drinks for everybody, but she is gonna help them learn how to operate that business right on the spot while it's live. And then they get to grow and we do reflections and talk back with them to help them again to repeat to develop that business also.
All right, that's awesome. That is awesome. So I'm looking forward to participating in a Rebirth event. As we wrap up, so the operation school, is that open to a specific person, or how does that normally work?
So Operation School is really for businesses who are beyond ideation. So we want folks who are actually operating a business for at least 1 year. Even if they're generating some minimal revenue, we love to work with people who at least have a sense of what their day-to-day business is. And so the criteria is pretty minimal. We're looking ideally for those disadvantaged businesses. So it could be minorities, immigrants, women, veteran-owned businesses, and also those who are just really interested in learning more in a classroom setting.
Okay.
We know that some of our students are typically too busy to attend a class because they're running their business. For those businesses, we provide more of our consulting services for them. So it's a bit more of a kind of we come to them kind of service.
Right.
But for Operation School, though, we do offer 6-week boot camp style workshops. Our registration for this upcoming cohort opens June 1st.
Okay.
So very soon, folks will have the opportunity to have a formal application to be a part of our cohorts that start late summer.
How many weeks does it normally go?
So it's about 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
And they're all in person at this time.
Okay.
And again, we really walk through how to get your business legit. So depending on where people are, we walk them through the things that they need to be a legitimate business, right?
Okay.
And so for most people, they're not hearing that. They're kind of piecing their businesses together by the things that they think that they need to do.
Right.
I really try to focus on the things that are good uses of their time, that are poor uses of their time and resources. Because again, there really hasn't been like a roadmap, so to speak, that businesses can typically ascribe to.
Okay. Who would you say is your ideal person to be a member of Centric Place, or your ideal customer? Or
who's an ideal person? Good question. I don't know if it's one person.
Okay.
Or any type of person. I think when we started out, we thought it would only be folks who had a desire to be a part of a community. So it's those people who need that community. It's also those who do have ideas in their own and they need space to actually create and run programming. Post pandemic, it's folks who do now need to just get out of the house and have a quiet place to work.
Right, exactly.
We were stuck at home for so long. It's those who have like advanced ideas. So, Rachel offers, some folks are kind of just like 1 or 2 years in. Some people are brick and mortar. And now need to become essentially what she does, like the CEO of her business. And so we see a lot of different variations of who actually belongs here. And then the best part about the space, with it being 10,000 square feet, people find themselves in places that we didn't know that the spaces could have been used for, right? So podcast area. And now someone else who saw it recently is like, oh, this is great for content creation. I can pull this chair and couch in here and make it that. Exactly. We've had commercial launches here.
Wow.
We recently had a video. Somebody shot a video here. So people have created kind of what they think this place is in their own mind. So we had an idea, and then people get here and dream even bigger. Wow. From day one. So that's awesome. I don't know if I can say one person. I think that those who are black and brown and who traditionally have not found spaces that actually fits them, this does fit that. So in particular, black folks who are looking for that, brown folks who haven't seen the space that reflects them, right? So, when you walk in, you see a wall full of ebonies. So very rarely do you walk into a place of business and you see yourself. Quite often when you walk into places of business, you find yourself conforming, changing your language, changing how you wear your hair, what you're wearing, how you like my hat's backwards, we do business. Exactly. Like business happens here, but we're comfortable in being ourselves enough to where that's the ideal person. So the person who is professional in what they do, they're really motivated in the work that they care about, but also just want to be themselves. That minimizes it back to one person. But it definitely has expanded from what we thought. All right, that's awesome. Man, you guys hit the ground running. Are you guys getting tired, or I mean? I'm getting tired. Oh yeah, was it all that what you guys imagined, or even more?
I think in a lot of ways it's so much more than we envisioned. I think what we can really appreciate about trusting the vision is that you need other people to buy into it to take it to the next level.
Destiny partners.
Absolutely. And that's for sure what we found. And so the work is not easy, and we're always transparent to share that, because there are other people, in fact, many people who have seen this model and said, I want to do something similar in my community. And we're quick to tell them, like, there are lots of things that you can consider, including just your own internal capacity, because there are some days of the week that we're here 7 days a week, right? And so, but to meet the needs of our community, it requires us to be flexible enough to make that space available. And so, yes, we are tired and some days exhausted, but the work is really what energizes us. And for us to be in spaces where we get to do what we love and enjoy and genuinely have fun doing, it makes it less work.
Okay. All right. Two more quick questions. What's the best way we in the community can be supportive of what you guys are doing? So it is sharing everything that you see we're doing and we're about. Okay. Getting on doing the Google reviews actually helps. Just building that traction there. Right. I can definitely say and attest, you do a great job of that also, right? Picking up our posts, sharing them. Right. That kind of thing is free. If you don't have it in you to buy into everything we're doing financially, it's definitely free to share what it is that we're doing, to talk about what we're doing. We've gotten a lot of great press. So there's a lot of professional things that have already been done, documented about us, like sharing those things, making sure our community knows about us. There's never enough press or positive press that we can get built around this place. You are looking at the team. This is the team that helps develop, grow, IDI, phase out everything that happens here. I just the word phase out. Phase out. But so we'll never get enough of that. If you're wanting to support, Operation School,
talk about it, share it.
Okay.
Share the link, sign up for it. If you know somebody else's business is in that place and yours isn't, doesn't mean you don't tell them about Operation School. Still tell them.
Right.
Help their business grow. If you know that, you need a night out on the town and it's a Thursday, talk about the rebirth.
Okay.
If you know someone is having a 50th birthday, say, hey, I just had my birthday there.
Right.
You should have yours there.
Right. Exactly.
If you're at a corporate retreat, and we get to see a lot of that, take pictures, post a picture, share them on your own social media, share them with your friends, send a text message and say, hey, I was at this Black place that's, run very well. It's never like it, first of its kind. So those kind of things actually go a long way, because at some point we want to be a service to that person.
Yes.
Or their community also. So please don't keep Centric Place to yourself. And that way, that part is not centric. It's not centered. Share that out. Share that out as much as you possibly can, because that's how we grow.
I'd like to add to that that there are lots of examples where people will say, we should have this kind of thing in our community. Or, wouldn't it be nice if Black people could come together and do these kinds of things? What people don't realize is that the best thing they can do is support it. If we don't receive the support to keep the building open, it goes away. And so there is proof of that in our community that, our favorite restaurants that we stop frequenting, or our favorite places, they go away because the community doesn't support them. We are very thankful for the level of support that we've gotten, but that has to be an ongoing effort. So we're constantly reminding people that, for us to continue receiving funding and opportunities that we're receiving, it requires people to buy into the vision on a day-to-day basis. So coming to the grand opening, is one thing. Coming to an event a year is one thing. But really buying into the mission that this is valuable is what helps keep our doors open.
Awesome. So you guys hear that? We want to support Centric Place. Great space for events, programs. You heard about the Rebirth Operation School. Just a lot of resources available. And we want to support this organization, this business, and we can. One of the easy things, as Gerrard shared about that you shared, it was just sharing posts and stuff like that. Could you guys share what's you guys on Instagram, Facebook? You can share with the audience what's your social media handles.
Yeah, you'll find us at the Centric Place on all things, and then our website is just centricplace.com.
Okay.
And that's the best way to connect with us. And we are also on LinkedIn,
Instagram, Facebook. Okay. All right. Any parting words before we close? Or announcements or anything you want to share?
I would like to acknowledge my business partner, 7 months in, and also my wife. You've been doing a phenomenal job keeping this place going and moving.
Amen.
And running. So I thank you for being my partners. In no way this is easy. In no way I'm to anybody else. So thank you very much.
All
Appreciate
right.
you for all that. Great things there. So I'm absolutely happy. Yeah, 7 months in, it doesn't necessarily even feel like at that time has been flying. And we've gone through a lot of things that felt longer, for sure. So this has been a breeze of 7 months, essentially.
Okay.
It's been good and well received. So glad to be doing what you do.
Thank you. And thank you to you, Charles. Thanks for being, such a supportive member of our community. I think, you got acquainted with us through an event and have been a member ever since. And so we really just love and welcome and encourage folks to do those same things, right? Once you see what we're about, just continue to spread the word. So we thank you for all that you've been as being an ambassador for our space as well. Yes,
it's just an honor. For those who don't know, I had my 50th birthday party here, great, and graduation celebration. It was a great time, a great opportunity to connect with people, meet new people, connect with friends, and expose people I know in my network about this great space. And so it's an honor and privilege, and I'm just happy to be a part of this community and to serve. And I even have some ideas about how I can use this space to connect with others. And I'm looking at doing a book club for entrepreneurs to meet once a month. So you'll hear more about that. But again, thank you guys for your time. I know you're busy. This was a busy day today. We're wearing these shirts. We were at volunteering at an event, Black Leaders Detroit. Their Ride for Equity was today. And then I was helping to produce the podcast, and you guys have several things going. So that's good. I'm glad you guys are busy with opportunities, but I know it can be tiring, and I definitely appreciate this time. And so thank you again.
Thank you, Charles.
All right. So that wraps up our podcast for today. Be sure to check out Centric Place. There'll be information in the description below. So you can, the website, their social media handles. And so if you're looking for an event space to have a birthday party, a baby shower, or maybe a conference or any type of event celebration, check out Centric Place. If you're a new business owner and you're trying to tighten up your business to maybe become bankable, fundable, or to set up your business in a legit way, reach out to Centric Place and get involved with Operation School. All right, so we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for viewing this podcast. And again, I encourage you to like and subscribe.